Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. Yeah, Wednesday. It's Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week. Hope everybody had an absolutely amazing trading day yesterday. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson, and welcome to the Daily Market Commentary. We're going to do what we do each and every day, look at our same 10 to 12 futures markets from an educational perspective, looking at potential breakouts and reversal setups. So let's not waste any more time. Diving in on the S&P, we are up about 6 points this morning, seeing a bit of a rally. Now, the rally that we saw this morning, the rally we're seeing right now actually stems off of yesterday's pivot, which came off this level right in here. So right when we were actually doing the daily market commentary yesterday was a little bit of a turning point, as it had come off of a prior day's level, popped up, and now we're seeing continual move to the upside. Now, we are getting close to the origin of this move down. So be aware of this area up here. I'm not saying it would be an amazing short. It might just actually get you an opportunity to get long again. I mean, I think that there's going to be an opportunity on maybe a day trading trade in there. So, keep an eye on the trade feed today to see if that's something that we add into our trade feed as an opportunity to get short as an intraday position. Levels down here still remain very much in play, and I'm going to leave those where they are. And in the NASDAQ, actually, we're above that level that we just looked at in the S&P. That's another reason why I don't love the S&P area here for too strong of a reversal, because this big speed candle here is the equivalent of the one we just wrapped our lines around in the S&P. So that's what kind of further weakens that case for the S&P level. Now, if I slide this down to a 15-minute chart, in our overnight session, zoom in on here a little bit. In our overnight session, we've got our European market open reversal area. And I always tend to look at that European market open time of the day as a potential for anybody who wants to get back in. We look at our time of day that levels are formed, and that European market open has been very important, very impactful. So that could be a potential reversal point as well. Crude oil. So yesterday in our crude oil trade, we talked about getting our position and protecting it. We did move down out of our confirmation short, so that was a nice little move if anybody's able to catch that. And that's a move of about 50 ticks, right? So that's a nice little move, about 50 ticks out of that level. We came into it a second time, and now we're kind of chopping around through there. By chopping around through there, we're putting additional weakness on that area of supply. So now looking at the areas up above us, I think that we need to be a little cautious that we could see a pretty strong move northward. Now, above me on a 4-hour chart, we do have this level of supply. So I've got a little level of supply here on the 4-hour chart that I can be aware of. And I wrap my lines around that area, knowing that we could continue conceivably to run all the way up to there. So if I move this down to a 15-minute chart, there's going to be a potential for somebody to get long back in this region if we pull back. And we're getting a little bit of a pullback now. So keep an eye on a potential to get long here, and you can theoretically run that all the way up to about at 58.50, where I think we'll get another reversal back to the downside. In gold's continuing its march higher. I was speaking yesterday to a couple of people that are still in their long gold positions. So if you're still in your long gold position that we talked about last week, as Tony the Tiger would say, great. If not, here's a potential reversal right here, right at that whole round number, that 1300 area. Yeah, I just broke out a serial reference for those of you out there. Take a look at here as a potential reversal. Bonds and currencies. Now, in currencies, specifically, I'm actually going to skip ahead here real quick to the Great British Pound. Specifically, the Great British Pound, with all of our Brexit news coming out, we see a lot more uncertainty in this one. with the Brexit vote. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, and this was our big wick right through here that can kind of wick you out, remembering the amount of risk that we take when those kind of things are in play, and then there's those big news announcements. So with big news announcements, just be aware that we have no real control, obviously, over where it goes. All we have control over is what we're willing to lose. And so if you wanted to give this area right, let's look right in here. This area right in here, a shot. I think that might be okay. Right around the European market open. Japanese yen, we identified a couple of areas up in here. We are actually starting to put in a little bit of basing for a potential breakdown out of this level, so there could be a play in there. Bond markets, our levels are unchanged from yesterday. We still have this area down in here for a potential reversal. In the Aussie, I anticipated a potential breakout above here, and we did get a breakout. And take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles, and we went nowhere. So those of you that watch the daily market commentary regularly, or those of you that are tradersarmy.com subscribers, you know that I talk a lot about our 6 candle rule. So this did not make its move, and so certainly that level is not going to be something that we would stay in, and that kind of breaks that rule. Well, it sets up for another potential breakdown right here, based on the fact that we've hit that level twice. And so I'll take all these breakdowns, because what happens is you may get a few of those ones that break out and don't really go anywhere, and you get out at break even or a small profit or a small loss. But when you do catch a good runner, boy, do you catch a good runner, right? So it's being able to catch those good running positions and holding on to them long enough to turn it into a profitable trade that really makes a lot of sense. Okay? Next, the euro. So the euro, we're coming close to our level that we identified. Unfortunately, I don't like the basing below the level, so I've got to switch this to a confirmation style entry at this point. Switch it to a confirmation style entry. And then our Canadian dollar, we talked about this one yesterday. We'd switch this to a confirmation entry. We got into the level. If I go take a look at it on a 15-minute chart, we got into the level. We traded out of the level just about to our opposing fair price value area, came back into it, and then really did a whole lot of nothing before then busting through that zone. So when that happens, we stand to take a small loss on a position like that. But now I think we're setting up for potential move right up into here. Okay, so potential move right up into this region on a breakout to this upside. So a couple of positions out there that I think are setting up pretty well. There's a lot more individual equity positions that are working very well. I know a number of you that were in the Sunday night live trade session where we talked about options positions. Keep an eye on your options positions that we talked about of your individual equities. Those are starting to move pretty well. For those of you that joined us last night for our options on futures webinar, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll put a link to that options on futures webinar in the comment section below. And then do me a favor, leave a comment, leave a like on the page. It's good for YouTube to know that people are actually watching what it is we're doing. So hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Later.